What's up, Silk? How we doing? Hey, appreciate the reposts and the shares. How's your weekend going? Making dinner? There you go. I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Had kind of an interesting day. Really sleepy all day, so had to get my my button gear. Welcome in, Roy. How we doing, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. Yeah. What's up, Sarah? Welcome in, guys. Our queue's open. Queue is open if you'd like to hop in. Check out the shop there. A lot of good stuff in stock. Probably one of the most full inventory that we've had in a while. What's up, Jackie? How we doing? Welcome in, everybody. We're just getting started tonight. If you're just joining us, we've got the Grand Gathering set in stock. We've got the collector's accessory boxes there that you can see in your picture frame, and then at the bottom of your screen we've got the booster boxes pinned. We've got plenty of Korean as well. We've got Inferno X, Gloria Team Rocket, Mega Dream. Chinese, we've got slim boxes of Blade Awakening. We've got jumbo boxes of Blade Awakening. Got a little bit of Gem 2 left. We've got Gem 5. Brilliant Illusions, as well as some of the first partner promo sets for Volume 1, that is, Volume 1. Eventually we'll get some Volume 2 in as well, that just released on Friday. Let's see what else. In English, we've got some Chaos Rising, we've got Ascended Heroes, got some Perfect Order there. Japanese, we've got Ninja Spinner, Nihil Zero, Abyss Eye, Mega Dream, Mega Brave. So a lot of different options out there depending on what you were looking for. If you have any questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat. Happy to answer. What's up, Zach? Welcome, guys. How we feeling out there, guys? Queue's open. Anything available on the shop can be sent sealed or open on the live. And we ship out next business day. What's up, SRT? How we doing, Jason? Not too much, man. Chilling. How's your weekend? What's up, Patrick? Hey, there you go. Happy Father's Day to him. All the dads out there. Yep. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we me and my sister took him out to breakfast this morning. He wanted to do breakfast together, so took him to a place called First Watch. I know there's a few of them out there. It's kind of like a chain type deal. I'd never been. This is pretty good. What about you guys? You just hanging out or went to lunch? Some Cajun shrimp and crab. There you go. Very nice. Lobster too. Corn and potatoes. Very nice. There you go. Crawfish. Sounds like a whole boil situation going on. Forget what they call it. Didn't have the crab though. Gotcha. Oh, okay. There you go. Lobster tail. I think I might have had lobster tail maybe once, and then I've had I've had lobster mac and cheese, that kind of thing. I've never done the full deal, the full lobster. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man? How was your Father's Day? Garlic butter and Cajun seasoning. There you go. For the sauce. Garlic butter, Cajun seasoning. Yeah, sounds great. Good thing I just ate, because otherwise you'd have me starving over here. There you go, Zach. Nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes some of the best days are the days you do the least. No worries, Jason. Welcome in, Salvador. What's going on, guys? Welcome, welcome. Queue is open. Feel free to hop in if you'd like. Hang out with us in the chat. Let me know how your Father's Day went. Anything you guys did with your dad or celebrating you if you're a dad. All that good stuff. Appreciate the likes, Silk. Welcome in, Christian. How we doing, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Aussie Azul, welcome, welcome. Ow. What else? Anybody get into anything else fun over the weekend? Friday night, Saturday night. Went to a minor league baseball game last night. That was fun. Had fireworks afterwards and all that. What's up, Connor? There are, I believe, 15. Yeah, 15 packs. Each of them 5 cards a pack. Just have the one box. The one box left. We didn't get too much of it. Start out since it was new. So you've got the Pikachu SAR that's in Surging Sparks. Is in it. If you would like the box, sure. Is that the Latias SAR that's also in Surging Sparks? Oh man, what's the there's a Lucia's Appeal exclusive SAR. So it's like an alternate version of Lucia's Appeal. Which I think that one was also in Surging Sparks, the original Lucia's Appeal SAR. But you have the alternate, there's an alternate version that's the exclusive artwork for the set. I think you've got some, trying to keep it straight from the others. All right. Are we opening it for you, Jason? Just want to keep the box too. No problem. Let's see. I will cut in here. So it doesn't mess the box up. Goodness. There we go. box there. Set that aside. All right, we got 15 packs. All right, here we go. Good luck. Good luck, Jason. Sandcastle. Hey, we got that Durant full art on the secret rare. Kyurem. Yeah, this one's got a nice texture to the hollow too. Sloth. Hoot Hoot reverse. Quaxwell Limit. Skeledirge Hollow. Alolan Doug Trio with the flow. What's up, Crusher? Rotom. Bias. Feather Duster. Yeah, the Doug Trio with the hair is crazy. Meowstick. Feebass. Got Walrus in there. Fuecoco. Sloth. Is that Cobalion? I think. Joltik. Slowpoke. Hey, there we go. Archaludon on the AR as well. Very nice box. Crispin and Victini behind it. Secret rare and an art rare there. Very nice. Yeah, these slim boxes, nothing's guaranteed, so even like a secret rare is not guaranteed. So we got secret rare and the art rare. That's what's up. Skarmory, Talonflame, Infernape, Peshron. Yog's bargain. What's up? What's up, guys? Eevee, Octopus. That's Dialga, I think. Hollow. What's up, Hunter? How we doing, guys? There's a couple Meese in the field. Just Genesect. Flygon on our EX. Pokegym. Barracuda looking thing. Bronzong, Spheal reverse, Magneton. A couple more here for you, Jason. Maybe an Ace back, maybe another EX here, Esper, Rotom. I think that's Clement, Quick Whip. Grimmsnarl there. Last pack magic for you. Ho-Oh, Applin, Mice, Hydrapple, and the Talonflame. Hydrapple EX. There we go. Finish off with a hit. Alright. Your hits from the box. We got Hydrapple EX, Flygon EX, our Archaludon AR, and the Durant on our secret rare. Nice textured hollow there. Very nice box, Jason. Appreciate you. Appreciate you hopping in tonight. Thank you, man. Alright, we got Crusher hopping in here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gem 5. And then 2 Ninja. Fresh box of Ninja here. Alright, Crusher. We got you 2 packs of the Ninja Spinner and 5 Gem 5. Let me know when you're ready. Alright, good luck. Good luck, Crusher. Watchdog, Squirrel, Litleo, Metagross, and the red card. Donphan, Braixen, Trevenant Hollow. Alright, Gem 5 here. Feel Chansey, Ceruledge Reverse, Sea Titan. Vibraven, Spheal. Applin, Wattrel, Spheal Reverse, Latios. On the stamp. A couple more here on the Gem 5. Sunflora, Skarmory, Vampy, and the Watchful stamp. And last pack magic here. Raboot, C-Type, Milcery, and the Tatsugiri. Just got the couple stamps there for you on the Latias and the Wattrel. Appreciate you hopping in with us, Crusher. Hope you're having a good weekend. What's up, Just Another Guy? Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate the follow, Futisha. Appreciate you. All right, guys, we're all caught up. All caught up on the queue. It is open. Welcome in. Appreciate all the likes, guys. You know, crushing it. Almost at 3,500 already here. I appreciate it, Jason. Have a good rest of your night, brother. You too. You too. Thank you. Welcome in, guys. I tried to watch the Superman movie since it's on Prime now earlier, and like I said, I was very sleepy all day. I could not stay awake, so I maybe saw 20 minutes of it. So yeah, that was fun. What's up, Vicky? Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't hang. Yeah, Silk. I mean, we'll probably try to get some of it. Um, Obviously, until it releases and everything, I won't know um, how much it might be. But definitely try to get some of it. I mean, we get Perfect Order, we get Ascended Heroes, and Chaos Rising, so try to get a little bit of Pitch Black as well. Been going for Chaos Rising a little bit lately. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I remember ripped some of that the other night for you. Is Pitch Black supposed to come out this week? Two Frokies now. Is that all you've pulled, or just the just the only doubles? Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't been tracking the drop date for it. Only doubles. Gotcha. Chronic to Baby. What's up? What's up? Welcome in, guys. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Feel free, throw them in the chat there. Doesn't have to be just about the shop and all that. Obviously, keep it respectful, right? Checking out some stuff on PokeBeach. They had an article out there that there's Pokemon filed a trademark for something called "Are You Perhaps with Team Rocket," which could be the name of another set, or it could be the name of a new particular product or something. So that's interesting. We might have more Team Rocket type stuff coming out. That could be as soon as, I'm trying to think, the last time they released, or they reported about a trademark around the 30th anniversary set, I think was back in like November. So about 6 or 7 months. So I guess there's a possibility, and maybe by the end of the year, there's a new product or something. Good, Fatisha. Am I saying that right? Fatisha. Doing well, doing well. How are you? How's your weekend going? Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe there's a Team Rocket product. Maybe that's like connected to the 30th anniversary, or maybe it could be, you know, when around the time they release the special sets, which is around like early December-ish. Is he trying to chill a bit now before work? Yep. I hear you. Feel free to hang out with us. What's up, Haley? Yeah, we are just talking about there's a new trademark that was filed by a Pokemon company called Are You Perhaps with Team Rocket? So, speculation whether it could be about a new set or a new product, that kind of thing. Um, it mentioned that it was filed under a category that is typically associated with new sets or products, so that could be interesting. I think it's already been what, a year and a half, maybe a little bit more since they released Glory of Team Rocket. But I'm wondering maybe if it could be in conjunction with the 30th anniversary. Maybe they got some. Maybe it's a 30th anniversary. What's up, Zugio? Like a 30th anniversary product, maybe a couple packs there, but like maybe some promos or something that feature Team Rocket. I mean, I'd love to see something that goes back to, the old school Jesse and James. I'm not even looking at the anniversary set. Yeah, I mean, it's a ways off. It's 3 months away from when it's supposed to release worldwide. No idea what it's gonna look like. What's up, Morningstar? Prepping for the next Japanese set at the end of July. Yeah, the Emeralda Storm or Storm Emeralda. No, we haven't pulled anything real big. Haven't pulled anything real big lately. I think the last thing might have been like the Morpeko SAR out of Abyss Eye. It's the only SAR we, or no, that's not true. We pulled one of the trainer SARs out of the first box we ripped, but Fredo. What's up, guys? Ace Dixon, welcome in. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest one. Didn't hit anything real big out of Gem 4 recently. We got to get more of that in stock. I know it's a relatively affordable chase for the Ponyta. Yeah, I think that's it. We haven't pulled any SARs out of the Jumbo Blade Awakening. I mean, we did pull a Bulbasaur out of the First Partners set, Volume 1, Chinese product. I think that's it. Yeah, I think like the last SAR was some more Pekka, so it's been a minute. What's up, Lil G? That's more stuff about the game, the actual TCG gameplay. I don't know too much about that, honestly. It's apparently a Dragapult deck that is pretty dominant in the competitive TCG arena. It seems to be the meta. Yeah, neither do I really. I really don't know the first thing about playing the actual TCG. Yeah, Fatisha. So essentially, I don't have a physical location, right? It's all based online, but not only is it here, I have my own site that I've established. I do very little bit of singles sales on the bay, if you know what I mean. Right? Gotta be careful on the talk here of what names I say, because I can get violations and whatnot. But yeah, I do. So if you Googled my name, you should see the site come up. Yeah. But yeah, so I run it all online shop, run it out of my part of my home. But yeah, all legit business, LLC registered, and all that good stuff. What's up, Charlie? How we doing, Marcy? Welcome in, guys. Queue's open if you'd like to hop in. Check out that shop using the shopping bag icon, bottom left corner of your screen. Anything in our shop can be sent to you sealed, or we can open it on the live here for you if you'd like. And we ship out next business day, guys. So we try to get your stuff as soon as possible by getting it to the post office ASAP. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate you, Wood. Alright, thank you for the share, Tisha. Yeah, I figure between, you know, Father's Day and you know, the government holiday earlier on the weekend and all that, today potentially could be slower. You know, people doing other stuff, all that good stuff. And what's up, Bulba? So, who knows? Who knows? Especially if anybody were like West Coast or even Central, you know, if you're doing like a dinner or something for Father's Day, you know, people might be otherwise occupied. But yeah, unless it's a major holiday, you know, we'll still be on here. Definitely looking to get some more Abyss Eye. Pokemon Fun's low at the moment. No worries, teacher. No worries. I mean, everything's so expensive. So I totally get it. You know, it's not easy to just carve out a bunch into a big chunk of your budget. Chasing the Darkrai, nice. Yeah, we have not seen the Darkrai yet. I've not seen it in person. That is. I haven't pulled it out of any of our boxes we've had. I think I've sent a very little bit. We haven't sent any sealed boxes out, but very few, maybe packs out. I don't think. I'm not sure that any of them had Darkrai. Nobody's come back in the chat or anything telling us that they pulled it, so that would be new. What's up, Garrett? Pulled the Gold Charizard from Phantasmal. Very nice. Very nice. Big pull. Mega Charizard X. Haven't seen that one in person either. We pulled the Mega Charizard SAR out of Inferno X Japanese and out of Korean. Each of those once. But no gold. No gold so far. We got plenty of Inferno X in Korean. Plenty of boxes. One of the very first boxes we opened had the SAR. And it's the one we were pulling, ripping single packs out of. So, you never know. You never know. Could take you just a couple packs and whatnot. Got it in the Walmart parking lot? There you go. The parking lot rips hit different, you know? What's up, Patrick? Patrick Starr in the chat. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I'm always afraid to like rip stuff in the parking lot. Cause usually, you know, I don't have like a sleeve or top loaders or anything, like just chilling there with me. So it'd be a very interesting ride home. Probably have to hold on to it with one hand and then try to drive with the other. Goodhart. How you doing? How you doing? What's up, guys? Hope everybody had a good Father's Day, whether you are a father yourself or celebrating with your father. What's up, Danielle? Welcome, welcome. Slim Kickins. What's up, Kaylee? Welcome in, welcome in. Ah, very nice. Yeah, Mega Guardi out of Mega Symphonia. Yeah, I was kind of toying with, that's currently one of the more affordable sets that my Japanese supplier has. And we've sold a little bit of it in the shop, but I think we pulled the Acerola's Mischief SAR. I think that's probably the biggest hit that we've had out of it. I think a couple times we pulled just the like Secret Rare Gardevoir, but not you know, not the big one. Yeah, the SR is still pretty nice. It's that's the thing, you know, starting with like the mega sets, I think they did a pretty good job with the SRs, especially, you know, the megas and that kind of stuff. They definitely made them cooler. Add a little different dynamic compared to just having like a full art of it being a bigger picture of the Pokemon with a certain color background. Yeah, they are. Yeah, exactly. They are hit or miss, but I think the Mega era has had better versions of them. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet, you know, some of them might be okay, but then others are like, you know, it's just kind of a blown up version of the card, and then, like I said, kind of a certain background. Some of the cards, they do a good job with doing a type of like texture or pattern or something like that to add in, you know, a different dynamic. But some of them are kind of plain. Yeah. Yeah, ARs look better than SRs. I agree. I agree. I've never, I don't know if I don't know what made them do that. You know what I mean? Like, at what point did they decide along the way that, like, hey, right? Because let's say average at least in a Japanese booster box, right? You get 3 art rares, and then you get 1 SR, and SR is supposed to be like your box hit. Well, the art rares in a lot of cases, right? The artwork is a lot better. It's a lot cooler card, even if in Japanese particularly, right? They don't prove to be as valuable. But I think the art rares for some of the sets, like Ninja Spinner, I think the art rares are better than most of the other cards. Like almost definitely over the secret rare or the secret rares, but um, you had a very small amount of SARs in that set as well. What's up, Joey? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Candy Piece SR or 2SR, yeah. I think they tried to do those as trying to get like an added hit in there. So I mean, like, think back, we had ace specs for a while, right? So ace specs, which were more of a function of the actual TCG like gameplay. They were different as far as being that like fluorescent pink, but other than that, not really a big collector's thing. But with the secret rare items, you get some of them. Some of them look kind of cool, like the what's it, like surfing beaches or whatever. That one I think is pretty cool. Not all of them are, like you said, like a rare candy. Um, I've got a couple sitting by me here. The blowtorch out of Inferno. It's like, okay. I mean, it's kind of cool, you get the fire effect and all that, but Bernardo, what's up, Bubbas? Need a toolbox binder, yeah. Yeah, you could definitely start that with the. When did they start that? Was it just in the Megas, in the Mega era, that they started the full art secret rare items? Because like you're guaranteed that in the Mega set. I think you could get full art ones maybe in English. I don't know. I can't remember when they started it. What's up, Taylor? I don't think it was in Scarlet Violet, though. But yeah, it's kind of like getting the with the Pokeballs, right? With the Pokeball reverses, you get that on like a trainer card or something. You're like, man, it's a bit of a letdown. Not the best pull. Team 3, what's up? How you doing, Amy? Yep. Yeah, they are very cool. We haven't hit anything quite big out of the accessory boxes. We have pulled with the boxes, you can actually get different rarities, different technically like versions of the boxes, and we did hit a hidden version of one of the Vaporeons on Friday. So it's been very cool. We hit a couple Umbreon Pokeballs. Hit a Kadabra Pokeball. So we've had some luck, you know, getting some hits out of the packs from them. We've yet to open a full booster box, but yeah, very similar to like T-Fest, like Korean and Japanese T-Fest, except in the Chinese version we have the possibility of pulling the exclusive alternative version of the SAR Sylveon. So it's a very cool version of the card. I'm sure it'll be very valuable. So yeah, I have seen somebody pull it, like post, they just did a little YouTube video, recorded themselves open a box, and on their last pack pulled the alternate version of the Sylveon. So it was very cool. What's up, Andre? CJ, what's up? What's up? HTX, what's up? What's up? Man, it really wants me to invite Zach to join as a guest on the stream. It's crazy. I popped it up 3 times in a row. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's literally like my feed, my chat feed just has that on it 3 times, listed 3 times in a row. I'm like, I think Zach's good. I don't think he's wants me to pull him in here on the live. We're good, thanks. What's up, Courtney? I don't know if you guys can see that. Invite, yeah. But yeah, on my end. And then it just popped up again under your comment there. That's your camera shot. It's really pushing it. What's up, Skylar? TikTok getting pushy, man. They're like, just do it. Just do it. Nah, right. What's up, Desert? It popped up again. What is going on? Bizarre. What's up, Vinny? Welcome in, guys. Let me know if y'all have any questions, especially about the new set here, the new products there that go along with them. Can let you know what you're looking at. Got plenty of stuff across all the different languages, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We've got some English, we've got Ascended Heroes, Chaos Rising, Perfect Order. So, a lot of stuff to choose from in the shop there. Hunter's back. What's up? What's up? Anybody got anything fun going on this weekend? Anybody going on trips soon? Appreciate the like, Silk. How was dinner? You said you were making dinner. How was it? How'd it turn out? Cleaning. Oh, yeah. Is that just after the packing, right? Everything that's chicken pho. Good. Very nice. I think I've only had pho once. 2 boxes left and it's just cleaning. There you go. Man, I would be like, if you told me all of a sudden I had to start packing up to move, like start packing tomorrow, I would be so stressed out. It's like one of the furthest things from my mind right now. Yeah, the area I live in isn't what I would call the most diverse, especially from a food standpoint. Like we have a few good like Chinese restaurants, but not a whole lot of stuff outside of that. I think we do have the one place, the one pho place that didn't exist until not too long ago. Snake Bits, welcome. I think I don't think we have any place that's like a ramen. Actually, we might. There might be a new one in one of the shopping centers, but it's like in a spot that. Hey, I appreciate that. So, yeah, we try to keep it chill. You know, nothing. No high intensity here. I like to have it be, you know, kind of an option for us to escape. A little escapism here, right? We can talk about Pokemon. We can talk about the stuff that doesn't, that's not super, not important maybe, but, you know, it's not too deep, you know? What's up, Squanchy? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate the like. So, what's going on, Jax? Wiped out, brutal honest. Kobe. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, crushing it. We're at 5K on the likes. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what the what's it, Emeralda Storm looks like. I want to see what the the big Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza looks like in that. I am curious to see if maybe there's some other surprises in the Celebration 30th anniversary set that might be. What's up, Haley? Some possible surprises that they haven't released yet or anything in that set too. Like I said, there's a couple cards in that one I'd like to get. I think that obviously those are like the two sets that I know coming up. The Pitch Black, I mean, obviously, interested to see if there's something else. I'm always curious about, some of the sets, right, when it goes from like Japanese to English, some of the products that they do for Japanese, those items get pulled in as like promos or something for English, or they might end up in the regular set. If they were promos in Japanese, they end up in the regular set. So, kind of seeing what that looks like. I haven't ripped a ton of the Abyss Eye to really know a whole lot of the ARs in that set. Really enjoyed the illustration rares in Chaos Rising. slash, you know, Ninja Spinner. But yeah, I know there's a, with the Slowbro we haven't seen yet. At least not in person. Yeah, I couldn't tell you most of it off the top of my head. Let's see. What's up, Carlito? Alright, that didn't work. No, that would make sense. I'm on the wrong. Ah, yes, we pulled the Zarude. I think we did a Delmise. We had a Manectric, and the Goldeen. Yep, Armarouge. Yeah, there's a lot of them actually. They're really good. The Manectric's really cool. You got the Thievul, the Bastiodon. Bastiodon we've pulled a couple times. The Silvally or Silvally, pulled that a couple times. Pretty cool artwork. We pulled the Rampardos. Secret rare the other night. We've pulled the Mega Zeraora. Even the Mega Excadrill on the secret rare looks pretty cool too. If you told me a Mega Excadrill on a secret rare, I'd be like, yeah, probably not going to be a great card. But that one actually looks really good. Wow. The market price of just the Misty secret rare is over $50. Misty's Energy. I'm a little surprised that they like kind of slid a Misty's like secret rare in there, but then didn't make it an SAR. You know, usually with some of the trainers, you know, they'll do a secret rare version and then they'll do an SAR version. They didn't do that for Misty. They didn't do that for the Rust Syndicate Grunt either. They did it for Gladiion's Decisive Battle, because we pulled that SAR, and Gwyn. Those are the only two trainer SIRs in Abyss Eye. You've got 4 Pokemon SAR, and 2 trainer SARs, and the gold MUR. I really like the Mega Zeraora though. I think that's sick. Like, my favorite color is blue. At my high school, like, I played baseball at my high school, and my high school colors for blue and gold. So I get kind of like the blue and gold with the goldish yellow accents. So I really like the color scheme there.
the Mega Darkrai is really cool too. It's just for how expensive it is and how hard I'm sure it is to pull. That's $450 in the Japanese. So it makes it a little out of my reach. Kind of surprised based on this site at least, the Mega Chandelure is pretty close in price value as far as the secret rare compared to the Darkrai, Mega Darkrai SR. They're only like $1 and change apart. Welcome in, Caden. Welcome in, Peter. How we doing, guys? Anything in the shop can be open on the live or sent sealed, guys. And we ship out next business day. What's up, Cass? What's up, Fernando? Just checking out the what the Stellar Crystal set has. I know it's got the Big Pikachu, the Latias SAR. It's got the Tortinator AR. It's got the Zeraora AR. I think we did pull that the one time. The Zorua AR. Cresselia AR, which is a very cool one as well. Archaludon AR, which we pulled for Jason earlier. The Noctowl. You got the Lapras SAR, the Pikachu SAR, the Galvantula, Scovillain, Cinderace, Hydrapple, Sinistra, the Durant. Latios, the Palisand, Flygon, Hydreigon. Box of pulls. What's up? What's up? It's got the Archaludon, the Alolan, Executor Secret Rare, Tatsugiri Secret Rare, Slack Off, Terapagos, Cyclizar. Bunch of trainers. SARs, you have the Durant, the Sinistra, the Hydrapple, the Pikachu, the Galvantula, the Latias, the Hydreigon, the Archaludon, the Executor, Terapagos. You got Clement's Quick Wit, Drayton, Lacey, what's up, Chase? Briar, Jasmine's Gaze, and then the exclusive Lucia's Appeal SAR. It's got a bunch of golds. Pikachu, Lapras, Cinderace, Executor, Terapagos. Then 4 like trainer item golds. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff there. What's up, Connor? What is up, Chuko? There he is. What's up, man? How's your Father's Day? Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, thank you. Did you guys do anything fun today? I know you didn't have fun watching that the baseball game though, if you paid attention. Because that game was not pretty. Did all the way to 6 runs, yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, the Mets are about to lose. So, see in the final. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of got out of hand after it was like 7-1, and then there's a 3-run homer and then a 2-run homer, and oh yeah, got out of hand pretty quick after that. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, man. I mean, the Mets got blasted, what was that? Last night. Yeah. Last night. By the Phillies. I mean, shoot. The, Harper had a cycle by the 5th inning or something? 3 home runs to Schwarber. Mets are garbage. What's up, Tommy?
Remain Moon. And it looks like it's a final now, so the Mets lost. No surprise there. Oof. I heard that. That was my knee popping. Tell you what, some days I feel super old. Everything's popping. Lower back sore. Appreciate the likes still. Streets knowledge. Mike Moo. What's good, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Queue's open, guys, and there's currently no wait. We ship out next business day. Everything gets to you as fast as it possibly can. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Very full stock for most of the things that we carry, including the newest Chinese set, the Grand Gathering, that is very similar to T-Fest, except you got that exclusive Sylveon EX SAR in there. That is the big chase. You're gonna have pretty much the same hit rates out of a booster box as far as Pokeballs and pulling SARs and an A-Spec. We've got Korean Glory Team Rocket, Mega Dream, Inferno X, Chinese Brilliant Illusions, Grand Gathering, Blade Awakening, Gem 2, Gem 5, and some first partner promo sets of Volume 1. And Japanese, we got Ninja Spinner, Abyss Eye, Nihil Zero, Mega Brave, and Mega Dream. W key.
Storm Emeralda. It's going to be the next Japanese set. It won't come out, the English version of it won't come out until November 6th. So they're going to push that one, push the release of that one in English after the 30th anniversary set. So we'll get Pitch Black. Pitch Black should be getting released here soon. Let's see. So I know they did some pre-orders for Pokemon Center, at least as far as like ETBs go. Yeah, they had a few of them actually already. ETBs, booster bundles, and booster boxes already. So it'll release July 17th. I wonder if Gem 6 will be up by then. By November? I would think so. I think they'll... Ooh, I mean, that's a good question. So you do have the 30th celebration, 30th anniversary. I would guess they'd probably release another gem probably by August, if I had to guess. That's what, Gem 5 in May. They did, what was it, March? For Gem 4. So you got Pitch Black, the English version of Abyss Eye. It's going to officially drop July 17th. July 17th, so a few weeks. Yeah, these Pokemon Center releases are brutal. There's I'm looking at on PokeBeach, people commenting from the article talking about the pre-orders being live, and you know, people saying they got to screen saying the site can't be reached, and the page like automatically reloading like 5 times, and it just going to like a white blank page. And I wonder if they're ever gonna get that taken care of. Because I know I tried to like hop on for that just to see. What's up, Breadwinner? Appreciate the likes. And initially, like, it told me I was in the queue with like 8+ hours of a wait, and then it like modified down to like 6 and change or 5 and change, something like that. And it had already like the drop had already been live for like 20 minutes at that point, and I'm like, there's nothing left. If we're 20 minutes in and it says I'm gonna be in 5.5 hours, I was like, there's nothing left. But yeah, 5 hours, yeah, it's not happening. That's why I was like, why even bother? It should just come through the message. Should have just said, nice try, you ain't getting anything. It'll all be gone by then. Yeah, apparently a lot of people getting like temporarily unavailable. Yeah. It's just the problem is you know, with the environment nowadays and how much more value the Pokemon Center like ETBs draw, like how people are just on there to scalp it, you know. And even though there is a limitation, I mean, people are out there with bots and all that kind of stuff, and they just have not. I I just find it so hard to believe that in today's day and age of technology and understanding like the uses of bots, and that has been around for quite a bit now at this point, you know, trying to get sporting event tickets or concert tickets or, you know, product drops, all that kind of stuff, right? It's been obvious that they've been in use. That's not a mystery. That we haven't come up with some way to combat that. You know? Not only that, and then you get to the point where a point I like to bring up about things like Ticketmaster, like if you're trying to get concert tickets or something, how are we at a point where Ticketmaster, and this goes back to like around the Taylor Swift era tours, right? Where again, the use of bots in that, but also there's so many issues with the queues in those, like people getting kicked out of queues. You know, you'd be sitting there waiting for like an hour or an hour plus, and you're advancing in the queue, and then all of a sudden it like reloads and kicks you out and moves you to the like back of the line thing, like. And Ticketmaster having their site crash and that kind of stuff. How are we at this point that they don't understand how much the demand is for some of the stuff, and to build in that capability? Like, how can you be the official distributor of tickets for one of the biggest, you know, tours of all time and not be prepared to handle that kind of volume? Like, you had to know. And especially when you go through it and it happens a few times and then you still are not prepared by like the 30th time it happens. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't I don't understand that. Like, as a business, yeah. As a business, how do you like understand that there's a problem, that your website, which is the primary platform for your business, to do your sales and make your money and all that, that your website is not capable of handling the volume of traffic? Just the people running it? Yeah, I don't know. I get the concept of the bots. I don't understand exactly how they work and how they can just automatically do stuff, and then like how they can go through the whole purchasing process and everything. Like, how can they use you know, your payment information, and then you got to worry about the security of that, so like what you're using. Yeah, I just don't understand that. Especially, you know, Pokemon Center, it's nothing new too. Like, Pokemon Center drops have been a thing for a while now, not just in like the peak of Pokemon right now. It used to be in the past, you might be a little bit more easy, but you still usually had to get queued up, right? A little bit easier now. You got everybody and their brother, you know, trying to hop in that have no idea about Pokemon, that just want to grab them to try to like sell for 3 times what they paid. And I don't know. I like the route that the Pokemon Company International is going down as far as those officially sanctioned events, Pokemon events, that is.
Banning the sales of Grady cards and any items over $1,000, and Pokemon Center products. Yep. Yeah, you got bots and scalpers for sure. Yeah, you got that with concert tickets and all that too. So it's just. I mean, it would help, you know, it used to be back in the day, like, you couldn't resell tickets. Like, it was illegal. Scalping tickets was illegal. You know, you'd have those people outside of stadiums and all that kind of stuff, right? Trying to sell tickets and whatnot. And they would literally have people, like, go undercover, you know, cops go undercover and pose as scalpers to get people in trouble. And then now we've not only allowed it, like, the companies that sell the tickets originally, which get a portion of the ticket sales plus they get the transaction fees, can also be used to resell tickets at well above face value. I think at some point they've got to put a cap on the resale amount, right? Because if you take the ability to make, you know, if you take the profitability away or significantly limit it, then there becomes far less incentive to scalp, and then you won't have as many people going in trying to buy tickets literally just to resell them. Personal opinion. But I think that would be the better way to go. Particularly with resale. You know, you should be able to put up, you can put up your tickets for resale if, you know, whatever, something comes up, you can't go to the event anymore, that kind of thing. But it shouldn't allow you to recoup, or shouldn't allow you to make profit on it. You should be able to recoup like what you paid plus the transaction fees and nothing more, in my opinion. But that's how I feel. And then you would do, I mean, obviously it's hard on like Pokemon. So I don't know what they can really do to combat. I do like that they, the Pokemon Company, like I said, with their official Pokemon events, have banned the sale of slabs and Pokemon Center products and that kind of thing. Because then, if you can't resell the Pokemon Center products at, you know, these events, then, you know, a lot of people are going to stop doing it. You know, there's no incentive anymore. And it's kind of like they're talking about the World Cup, right? With how expensive the tickets are. You know, a lot of these tickets that aren't even great seats or anything, you know, you pay $1,000 for. It's absurd. However, with the World Cup stuff, that's not even resale. That's what FIFA is charging. What they've decided to charge for it. So. And somebody was making a comment, I saw that was interviewed about it, and saying it's like you're making this into like an elitist sporting event when you know, when tickets are $1,000 a piece, like that precludes a lot of people from being able to go to those games. You know, this isn't a game for everyone anymore. At that point, it becomes elitist, and it's that's almost the way like Pokemon's becoming, where anything that gets dropped to retail, people, you know, scoop it all up and then try to resell it for 2-3 times the face value, and that can't be sustained. Alan, so that is just part of my PC, so it's currently not for sale, but that Lucario would be in Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions. Unfortunately, we don't have any more of those either. You know, we sold out of it a while ago. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. Just some eye candy up on the screen for you guys. Try to get people to stop by, you know. Oh, I got you. Very cool. So, anyway, that's me on my soapbox about reselling. I think particularly like ticket reselling, they absolutely. I know in some countries, it's actually they've put a cap on it. Like certain countries have limited. Like if it had, like let's say if the face value was $100, like it caps the resale amount at like 120, and it's like a legal thing there. Like they've actually established and passed a law that limits that. Um, as far as like Pokemon stuff, I don't know how you can really limit that. Of the reselling and the value. I mean, that just turns into a secondary market, and then you got stuff like eBay, which obviously their whole business is founded around reselling things. Or here's a thought. You know, Pokemon Center starts taking off the plastic wrap. You know, like we've seen some of these stores. I know the Target, right? Target recently. I don't think it's across the board, but some Targets have started cutting the plastic seals on product. You know, if we start destroying the seals and all that, like, I guess people aren't going to want to buy it on the secondary market. It makes it a lot less enticing. I think that's a great. I think that's a a great option. They've even done it in Japan. Like you can buy them by packs individually, and in Japan they will cut the corner so that the pack is like partially open. So there's no. I mean, I guess theoretically, you know, you could resell it, but how many people want to buy that? You know, and especially people aren't going to want to pay more for it. You know. So, I mean, I think there's definitely options. You know, there's definitely things we can do to combat the scalping. Like if you've hopped into this hobby to literally just buy the stuff to flip it. So you can call yourself a flipper or, you know, technically a scalper, that kind of thing. I mean, people call me a scalper, except, you know, I'm actually buying product from overseas and that kind of thing. You know, I'm not buying stuff off a shelf that is readily available to anybody else. You know, other people, you're more than able to go out if you want to take on the risk of trying to find an international supplier and take a chance on, you know, sending somebody halfway across the world. You know, some of them don't have minimum order quantities. Some of them do. So I mean, it's like, you know, I understand that. I hate the. I gotta be honest. I hate the prices I gotta put on like the English stuff because I get it from somebody else that has distribution. But again, I'm not taking it off the shelf. You know, I'm not going in. I don't go into Walmart and buy up all their stock and then come and sell it here. Like, I can't even do that anymore. You know, they limit it 5 products. Like, there's no. I would not be a shop trying to get products at 5 packs at a time. So, yeah, I try to keep the prices again as reasonable. If it's feasible, keep it towards the lower end of market price of stuff that's out there, you know. But I also have to keep in mind, you know, if prices of the stuff, I have to be able to sell stuff and then be able to afford to buy more of it. And so that becomes tough too. You know, I can't just come out and make put something up for super cheap, because otherwise I'm just spinning my wheels. You know, I wouldn't be making much money at all. You know, it would, between the costs of everything, right? Some of the costs of shipping and packaging stuff and all the other miscellaneous type things, like, because I have a site that costs money monthly for me to just you know, own a domain name, all these other things, you know, there's a minimum amount I still have to make on stuff to even break even. But if I'm not, you know, trying to grow the business, that would be one thing. But I can't offer more products either if I'm not growing. I can't continue to offer more. I can't more products. I can't offer more quantity and all that kind of stuff. The idea is I can be able to order more of things at once and get better deals, and then I can essentially pass it on to you guys. Because if I get a better deal and I have the same margins, then I can sell it for a better price to you guys. So, I mean, that's my ultimate goals. You know, I've been fortunate. I moved from buying like a few boxes at a time to being able to buy cases of boxes at a time for like Chinese and Korean. Haven't bought. Well, I think I bought the equivalent of one Japanese case. But you know, we're gradually moving up and that kind of stuff. So, and stuff to do the stream, you know, costs money. The cameras, all that good stuff, costs for internet, and you know, more reliable internet that allows me to actually stream without it being real glitchy and all that. So, not complaining by any means. It's just I can't. I wish boxes cost the same as what they used to, especially the Japanese. Man, back before the big boom, you could get a Japanese booster box for $40 to $50. And if it was a brand new release, you could get it for like $60. That was paying a premium. I would love that. But you got a couple things that are going against us. One, the big boom, right? The big Pokemon boom. So that's just increased demand. So based on that, the increased demand, the prices go up. And then on top of it, you've got tariffs. Yeah, some Korean is for sure. But that's the thing, you know, if we had it lower, you know, if the demand wasn't as crazy, you know, Korean stuff would be like $20-$30 a box. You know? And even in Korea, like they impose limits, and you have to have like a Korean ID, Korean government issued ID. So you couldn't be, you know, you can't be like a tourist and go over there and, you know, siphon stuff out. It wouldn't really be profitable anyway. I don't know, like, I mean, a trip from here to Korea just to pick up product would be insane.
the amount of time on the flight and how expensive it would be, I don't think would be worth it. But I don't know. Some people go to extraordinary lengths. But yeah, so that's how Korea, I think, is combating their scalper-ish type efforts there. And then you know, Japan, like I said, they're like cutting the seal off stuff, or they're like cutting the corners of packs and all that. So I'll be honest, I don't think China, I don't think they care. I don't think they care that much. So I don't see them doing anything that will I don't know if in China, I don't know if, like, you know, actually there, you know, like I'm saying, the Korean and Japanese, the stuff like in country there, they have, you know, measures in place, right? The IDs, the cutting the packs, that kind of thing. China, I don't know that they have a scalping problem necessarily. You know, I mean, they could just have people that get product from distribution, and instead of selling it in a shop in China, they just sell it internationally because they can make more money that way. Which, you know, at that point, you know, it's not technically taking away from the markets there if people open a business that never actually sold, you know, if they never had a storefront, you know. So I don't know. I think they're a very different market. Plus, yeah, like you said, some of their packs are brutal, so they have a lot of different items, and they're trying to pump out as much product as possible, getting caught up on the Sword and Shield, or not Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet set. Scarlet and Violet era. They're trying to get caught up on all those sets. They're up to, what, Surging Sparks and... Or, well, excuse me, they're up to T-Fest now. So Surging Sparks and T-Fest. So they gotta have, it's gotta be, what, black and white, and you're gonna black and white, and then Gloria Team Rocket and Heatwave should be coming up soon there. Come out with their own sets like the gems instead of catching up. Yeah, well, they do both. They do both, you know. I don't know how, because the products, most of the products, my understanding, are printed in Japan, and then, you know, Japan tries to act like they can't possibly print more stuff for Japanese product. Yeah, like this is made in Japan. The Brilliant Illusions, made in Japan. And then let's see. Yeah, made in Japan on the Grand Gathering. That's made in Japan as well. So yeah, they are quite behind, and at least in the simplified Chinese, right? The simplified Chinese version, they do release like traditional Chinese. So like the VMAX Climax here that I have, and we opened a little bit of, that is traditional Chinese. I don't really know the difference, but as far as that's concerned, they're caught up on that. They have Abyss Eye, but in simplified Chinese, and obviously I can't tell you the difference. I'm not educated well enough on it. But the simplified Chinese is what they're trying to catch up on rapidly. So they'll do like with Gem 4, you know, you have only the one exclusive art rare, and then a bunch of the others are from various other Scarlet and Violet sets all throughout. So they might release a set where it's mainly like the SARs from like Stellar Crystals, mostly the SARs from
Stellar Crown and Surging Sparks, or Stellar Miracle, whichever call it. But it's mainly those in the SARs, and then they use all the vast majority of the other ARs and put it in the gem sets. So I mean, I think the gem sets are a good idea as long as they have like a decent amount of exclusive art rares as potential hits. Like Gem 4 has done well because the price point has stayed lower, but it only has the one exclusive, and because it only has the one exclusive, I think is part of why the price point is staying lower. You know, for instance, the Gem 3, where you have Cubone, Gengar, the Meowth, the Ceruledge, and the Chandelure, which I believe are all exclusive art rares. Yeah, exactly. Gem 3 stopped printing. So, like, not only that, they've, like, it's fluctuated all over the place, and mostly it's been almost, it's been close to, like, twice the cost of Gem 4 at a minimum for its, like, entire existence. Gem 3, that is. Until, like, now, and it's even, well, right before it went out of print, it was even more. I mean, it was almost, it was going towards, like, $70 a box, raw price, and then you know, shipping and yada yada, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's twice what I charge for Gem 4. So it's crazy no one was really looking at it until the Cubone really, yeah. The Cubone popped up, and that's the thing, it was around for a while. When I first got it in stock, that was one of the first things of Chinese that I ordered. I'd seen the Cubone, I knew it had the Gengar, and I'm like, okay, you know, with the Gengar, that's a big chase, you know, a lot of people like Gengar, that kind of thing. And the Cubone, I bought the Cubone for like $60. I bought the single of the Cubone at like $60, and it would cost me more than 4 times that now. And it's surpassed the Gengar. Like, Gengar, Gengar's like 4/5 of the price. It's like 20% less than what the Cubone is. Ow. I'm sorry, Stoke. Yeah, it's hard. Gem 2 is tough. Gem 2 is really tough, actually. We've, the pull rates were definitely better with Gem 3. Definitely better with Gem 3. Like, we had one case where we pulled 4 Gengars in one case. So of 20 boxes, we pulled 4 Gengars, we pulled at least 2 Cubones, pulled at least 2 Meowths. So right there is like 8 of the top exclusive art rares out of 20 boxes. Like, that is a very high hit rate. And if at that time, if you had paid, you know, what we are charging for a box, the Meowth is now like almost worth twice that. And the Meowth is the cheapest or the lowest valued out of those 3. If you bought those and got a Cubone at that price, if you got that, got the Cubone, it would be worth close to 5 times what you paid for the box at that point. And the Gengar is worth like 4 times. So yeah, and it's crazy because I mean that was 6 months ago, you know. So something taken off like that crazy. But yeah, they have a gem set that with Gem 3, they print that set in, or put it out last year around September timeframe, and then it's out of print by end of June. So it didn't even last 9 months. So that, you know, if they establish that as a regular pattern, then it theoretically could increase demand right off the bat for future gem sets. I think Gem 5 is tough because the big chase, which is the Captain Pikachu, is by far and away the biggest chase. The other three exclusive rares are not anywhere close to the value of Captain Pika. The Captain Pika right now, like raw market price, is probably about $300. So there's still value in terms of like how much you pay for a box versus the value of the big hit. But those other hits, the Ferrigato and the Quaxwell and whatever the other one is, I can't remember his name. Those aren't nearly as much. I mean, those are going to be at least half the value of the box. So hard to get people excited for those. But there are some good ARs in there for sure. It's just, I mean, the boxes are a little more expensive than like Gem 4 because the Captain Pika right off the bat is valued higher than the only exclusive in Gem 4. So when you have that and that creates demand, it makes the price go up. Yeah, Pika always hits, yep. Yeah, the Captain Pika is the big dog. And then you got the Pikachu Gengar that's in the Collect 151 Surprise. I mean, that thing's like $2,000 raw now. And that set is like a year old. You can't find them in the slim packs anymore. I could get the jumbo packs, but the box is so expensive, I would have to sell it for over $200 a box. Which I don't know, maybe people would pay it, but I'm not gonna lie, I get pretty nervous when I have to start charging when price points go over $200, you know? I'm not a guy that has a huge amount of capital that I can invest in some of these like more vintage sets and those sorts of things that cost $200-300 a box that can just sit on the shelf for a bit, you know. I need the lower to moderate price range that people are actually interested in ripping and continuing to buy. If it sits on the shelf too much, it's problematic. You know, if I get a bunch of stuff, like right now, if I have stuff sit on the shelf, I can't buy the next new set. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not selling things, I don't have capital to turn it around and buy more. So I can't just let a very expensive box that would cost me a lot of money and buy a bunch of them and then have them sit on the shelf. Would not be the best way to manage inventory and all that. I mean, the hobby's just so expensive as it is now. I think for me to try to get into like the even higher, more expensive end of the spectrum of products, being, you know, vintage stuff, would not really pay off for me. Like that's not, I haven't established myself as somebody who does that, but then is also like you know, sometimes it takes a good deal of trust to be built up for vintage. Yeah, boxes, yeah, absolutely, they're over 100. Yeah, Japanese sets right off release, they cost me about $100 a piece to get, and then you have to go around and sell them, and you're like, after shipping and all that kind of stuff, it's just super expensive. Yeah, and then they go up more. Yeah, the Abyss Eye is roughly about the same now. Like it dropped back down, so it's about the same as what I paid at release, but it did go up right after release. It did. even imagine how much the anniversary set. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's part of why I'm not really looking forward to it, is because I just can't imagine what it's gonna be. And to me, like I said, there's like a handful of cards from the set I like, I enjoy, and wouldn't mind having, but if it's hyped up and it costs like even more than Abyss Eye did, like off the jump, for me personally, I wouldn't be in the market to pay that. I just couldn't. I would try to find the singles that I wanted and then buy those. Fierce Storm Emeralda is going to be more than Abyss Eye, yeah. I think so. I mean, I think it'll demand more here in the U.S. So, part of what I kind of heard anecdotally of why the Abyss Eye price was like so much more than Ninja Spinner. I mean, one, you could just say like theoretically overall, or hypothetically overall, the demand for Darkrai, or the popularity of Darkrai, is greater than Greninja. Well, we know the Greninja SAR was very popular out of Twilight Masquerade in English, right? It was pretty much like the only chase, really, or the main chase in that set that really jumped up high in volume or in value. So you knew there was going to be some increase with Ninja Spinner over Nihil Zero, right? Nihil was kind of getting, Nihil's more of like what I would call a deep cut, right? It's more of a deep cut for sets in the Mega era, with Mega Zygarde being the main chase there. But yeah, Darkrai apparently is way more popular in Japan. There's something, I think, like culturally, that Darkrai like has more significance than I guess we place on it here in the U.S. Again, that's anecdotal. I don't really know the whole story behind that. I guess maybe there's more to the lore of Darkrai and what's associated. So that supposedly had made it, or helped create greater demand in Japan, making it more expensive for us to get here because obviously the demand there, and shortage of supply there. I think Rayquaza is super popular everywhere. I think Mega Rayquaza is a very popular one, and yeah, I think it will potentially be more expensive than Abyss Eye. What's up, Ripworks? Welcome in, guys. Alright, well, it is 11 p.m. on the local time here. I appreciate you guys supporting. I think unless anybody wants to hop in with a last minute late night rip here, stay on for a couple more minutes here in case somebody does want to jump in. But we will be closing up here shortly. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us, all the support, all the likes throughout the evening here. Hopefully we get a little bit more traffic in tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow.
Could totally get a couple of the trestle backs. Hey, no worries, Silk. No worries. Believe me, I know it's not cheap, and plus, you know, with your moving and all that, you know, last thing you need to do is get more stuff to pack up and move around and all that. So. Yeah, I hear you. I'm toying with the idea of doing. I don't know if you're still here, Silk, but like on Mondays, because Mondays are typically kind of slow. You know, it's after the weekend. You know, people are getting into the groove of, you know, back into their weekly routine and all that, and then from a business slash, you know, the spending aspect, you know, people will kind of look back at the weekend and be like, wow, you know, man, I spent a lot of money, or, you know, did a lot of stuff, or, you know, went out and spent a bunch of money. And Monday, you know, they typically will tighten back up and be like, yeah, I gotta behave and get back on track. But I'm toying with the idea of doing something like a sale on things like across the board, kind of like a shop wide type sale. It wouldn't be huge, but I kind of want to see what the response would be or something like that. You know, it wouldn't be like crazy price drops, but it would at least be like a temporary, you know, for the day markdown to see if we can entice some more customers, that kind of thing. I have thought of it, Silk. I have. For me, it's the issue is like finding things that are affordable for me to get a hold of that wouldn't potentially like make me lose a lot of money, you know. And the reason I say that is because if you don't have a whole lot of people like in your streams, you could easily, like, I could easily put a card up that I paid like $40 for or something like that, and then it sells for like $5, you know. If you don't have a bunch of people in there, and or there's only like one person looking to hop in, that's kind of the problem. I mean, if we had a much larger following, I could definitely do something like that. Like, I could make a particular day, you know, maybe do, you know, like the first half hour of the stream is going to be like auctions or something like that. But pretty much right now, like, the cards that I could get aren't necessarily terribly valuable, so I could do it from that standpoint. Like, I could get like Japanese ARs, and we could do stuff like that. But my main concern is that and I don't know how it works with TikTok. I'd have to look at that a little bit more too, as far as the shipping goes. But man, if I had to cover the shipping on top of it, I bet most of those cards I'd be losing money on. So I just don't know what the appetite is for like Japanese art rares. I think it's definitely more exciting than like if you were to go on the Bay, you know what I mean, and then try to find them there and buy it from there. But yeah, I've seen some start the bid near the price of the cards so they don't lose a lot. Yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah, I see that. I know a lot of them, you know, try to act
you know, they say $1 bids, right? They're like, oh, we got these starting at $1 bids, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I get that's a whole marketing thing, but yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I would definitely start it at for Japanese ARs at like $1 for sure. But again, if I had to cover the shipping, I would lose money on it, because if it sold for like $2 or $3, I would technically be spending, and if I had to cover the shipping, I would spend $5 to ship it, or $5 total between the cost of the card and shipping it. So I might need to, maybe I need to do some research on it, and I could, you know, dabble. I could try a little bit of that. And see if it works out. See if, you know, if we can get more people into the streams and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me for that, because they're pushing it. Like, there's a lot of incentives they put out about trying to get sellers to do auctions. Because theoretically, you know, they still get, you know, they get a cut of it. And for the auctions, you know, if that opens an avenue for them of things that I wouldn't be selling through the shop anyway, and now I can offer more things and potentially sell more and generate more revenue, then that means more money for them. And so they're really trying to push that. It's just like a few years ago, if you were here, I don't know, here, I mean, on TikTok a few years ago, they really pushed a ton of coupons, right? There were a ton of coupons that TikTok issued themselves. Like, sellers didn't have to issue them or anything. And TikTok was, you know, covering the difference. And then also for a while, TikTok was covering shipping. They were covering the shipping fees, and again, the sellers didn't have to cover that. So it helped a lot of people that like got initially started there. It helped them grow a big following right off the bat from that, and then obviously a transition. But you know, you were able to get people into your streams and all that pretty easily when there are a lot of coupons going around. And you know, like, I could raise, if a lot of coupons were going around, I could raise my prices a bit, you know, and take advantage of that, you know? Yeah, now discounts are 5 to 10% at a $10 cap, yeah. But not much. And I get it. You know, they did, and that was their whole marketing type deal. It's like, all right, we'll essentially take a hit. We'll lose, you know, we'll take a hit on them collecting essentially their fees that they charge. We'll, you know, break even by taking the fee but then giving free shipping. We'll do that as a way to promote people, you know, more sellers coming on board, and then more people jumping into lives and buying stuff and generating more revenues. And by doing that, they create a large foundation. You know, the customer base, they get a big customer base, and then they just have to like maintain it, as opposed to trying to draw people in from other platforms. So that's why they did that, and they stopped it, right? They did that. They increased the fees that they took out, that they take from sellers. They increased that. They did away with the free shipping, and then the coupons are very limited now. So it was all essentially like a marketing strategy. You know, get a whole bunch of people back in, draw a whole bunch of people into the platform, get them using it, get sellers in here, get sellers establishing relationships with the customers, and then they would start taking a larger piece of the pie to, you know, recoup those costs, plus, you know, make more money and all that. Yeah, it did work. That's the thing. I mean, you know, at the time, the Bay, if you know what I'm saying, the Bay didn't have really like a platform for live selling. Now they do, and they're up and running, and then they're trying to entice sellers. I'm not one of them, but I know somebody um, who's doing a lot of business on TikTok here, and other platforms are recruiting them essentially because, right, they want those revenues. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, he's being recruited by them, by other platforms, and all that to do business on theirs. So, and I imagine by doing that, what they do is they're like, hey, okay, our normal fee is this, but we want you to come over, so we'll cut that fee down to this, and then if that beats TikTok's fee, then for sellers that have a platform, that it's not that hard to do it on multiple platforms. You know, you could do, especially like some people, you could do a morning. They do a morning stream on one platform, then the evening stream on another one, and then um, maybe weekends they hit a different one, or they do both again or something. It's just um, it's great. It's great if you can get that type of level. Um, so, and the WN, people are on there. I don't know if you saw recently. There's an article I saw on ESPN talking about there's like two like legal complaints filed against. Actually, I don't know if it's against a certain company necessarily, but their complaint is saying that card breaks, that they do with like sports cards, where you have a whole box of cards or a box of packs, and you essentially sell different slots for it by teams or whatever it might be, and different teams are different value, all that kind of stuff. And then you do a break, you sell all the slots, then you open them up, and then you get whatever team, the cards of whatever team that you bought the slot for. But these people are complaining and saying that it violates gambling laws, right? And they said they've got like 70 customers that have band together. This one lawyer is representing. And part of the part of the argument that they said they're trying to make is that you don't, like, what you get in return for buying the slots is not of equal or greater value to what they pay. Exactly, Silk. That's exactly where I went. I was like, man, these are just people that are upset with what they got. And that's always been trading cards. Like, there's no guarantee, like with sports cards, with card games, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever it might be, One Piece. There's no guarantee. If you open a pack, if the cards you get collectively are going to be worth more than how much you spent on the pack. Never has there ever been a guarantee of that. Yeah, I was telling somebody, I said, it sounds like to me these people probably have spent like thousands of dollars in like box breaks and ended up not really getting any big pulls, or they spent so much money and then they like are in financial trouble, so then now they're like trying to make a case for how they could potentially sue and get money back or something like that. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's like, you guys are just bitter. Stop going in on the hobby if that's how it is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and who's to say the value of it too? Yeah, exactly. And they post odds. Especially for sports cards, they will tell you like, okay, you have this much chance, like a 1 in 50 chance of pulling this type of parallel in a box and that kind of thing. Like, they detail all those odds of it. And even if you pull like a parallel like that, it doesn't mean it's going to be valuable. Sign off at purchase to say, yeah, what you get is what you get. Yep. Yeah, I mean that's kind of been the unwritten, the um gosh, the implied understanding, right? It's kind of been the implied understanding, sort of an implied contract, if you will, agreement, understanding that what you buy, I mean, you're still getting cards, right? You still get cards regardless. Now, if it's what you wanted, that's a whole different thing. And you know, you could say to an extent that the value of the cards are subjective. You know, because somebody could appreciate the follow, Slick Rick. Appreciate it. And the share. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can buy a single, right? You can buy. Hell, heck, if the single you want is only $60, but a box costs $160, why are you buying the box? You know, that's your own fault. Like, I understand to a degree what they're trying to say, but never in card collecting and collectibles in general has it ever been a guarantee that when you buy something, it's going to be as valuable or more than what you paid. So that's just part of collectibles in general. You know, I mean, if somebody buys, like, let's say if you bought some like sports memorabilia or stuff like signed by a musician or something like that, they could theoretically, like, you buy it and then theoretically this person could get popped for, you know, committing some other types of crimes or whatever, and then, you know, the public sentiment goes totally against this person, and then now what you bought is like pretty much worthless. Like, if you paid $100 for something, they go out, they do something, they get arrested, or they do something wild, they start saying crazy stuff and get canceled and all that. You know, then that thing, you know, you couldn't give away whatever it was that you bought. You know, and that's nobody's fault. But you also don't, you're not entitled to some type of compensation for it. So, yeah, yeah, you could buy a booster box right today, and then the Pokemon bubble could pop tomorrow. And by the time, you know, if you bought it from me sealed or whatever, by the time you get it, it's, you know, the value of the stuff goes down and the box price, you know, plummeted or whatever. Like, it's not a legitimate reason to send it back because it's not as valuable. Like, you made the agreement when you made the purchase and agreed to pay it for a certain price, that you're taking ownership of that at a certain price point. Like, you don't get to return it and be like, well, I just want my money back because it's not worth it, and then try to, like, I guess, buy it back cheaper or something. Yep, exactly, Silk. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, these guys, I bet a bunch of these guys, if any of them are married or anything, you know, bought a whole bunch of stuff. Their spouse is like gotten tired of them spending so much money on these things, and then, you know, they get like so guilted into it, and they're like, well, you know what, I'm gonna get my money back, and then do all this stuff, and I'm like, that's not a viable option. I think it gets, I don't think there even gets to be like a court case or anything. I think it gets dismissed. I mean, they had comments from some of the companies like WN where they say, nope, that's not what it is. Like, you do get something in return, you know. It's up to you to decide whether you're willing to pay that much money. But, you know, it's been a staple in the collectibles industry for decades. Because, you know, a lot of things are so expensive, you can't afford to buy a whole pack, or you can't afford, you can't afford to buy like a whole pack or something. Some of these boxes that are like, they call them like first off the line, so essentially they're kind of like first edition. There's no way to discern them on the cards themselves, but typically those boxes have more high value cards and that sort of thing, and big hits. Those boxes literally go for thousands of dollars. So like when you're talking packs, I mean, you're talking people paying like $200 for one pack. So I would equate it to just like, you can do energy breaks in Pokemon with some sets, right? In English, can't really do it with like Japanese or anything. Yeah, I mean, you got those super expensive boxes, $200 a pack. I mean, at least this way, if you buy a slot for a certain team, you're getting, you have the ability to get players that you like or you follow or whatever. Otherwise, you could buy one pack for like 200 and you get nothing. You get essentially all base cards. You get a pack that's literally worth maybe like $10 because they're like dollar cards in it. That's just the hobby. That is the hobby. I mean, there wouldn't be any interest in the hobby if you made it so that every pack had a pull. So like when Pokemon first started out, and in Japan, they had a bunch of different sets where you're guaranteed a holo in every pack. And I mean, they sold well, right? They sold well, but the cost, you couldn't charge a whole lot for it because you're guaranteed, like the big pulls were, yeah, they might be more in demand because people like the artwork or something on it more, but you're guaranteed at least a holo in every pack. So then in the English version, they decided not to do that. Now they've done versions of it, right, where it's like a high class set or something like that. But most English sets have no guarantees of anything in Pokemon. Like even a booster box. Booster box, there's possibility of, there have been error boxes I've heard historically, right, where there have been sets like Fusion Strike or something like that where you have a booster box, and some of them they're getting 2 or 3 Altarts in them because there were errors, right? So in that case, should you have to give them back to the Pokemon Company because that's not what they meant to do? Yeah, and then there's been the opposites where there have been like occasions of booster boxes where there's no Altart. I mean, especially those, because you didn't have, like, in some of the sets, right, Sword and Shield, you didn't have Trainer Gallery hits, you didn't have ARs, didn't have the EXs, you might have had, like a GX, or what were they back then? A V, right? A V-Star. Like, those things aren't worth anything. V's and V-Stars, and you end up with maybe one full art. And then you're just like totally blown that you just spent $150 again at this time, right back then, like $150 on a box that gave you something worth like $5. So yeah, it's a hobby. It's not for the faint of heart. But my argument's always been too is that like you still get cards. You know what I mean? Like it may not be what you want. It may not be the cards that you want, that you would hope to hit or whatever, or that you want to collect. But you still get something for what you're paying. Yeah. Yeah, it's up to you how much you're willing to spend on it. So, All right, Silk, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. I think we'll go ahead and close up for the evening here. Just a couple things to pack up. I got an early morning dentist appointment that I gotta go to before I hit the post office. Everyone creates their own collections. It's never really the same. Exactly. You know, you place different. Thank you, Silk. Thank you. Yeah, you place a different value on things than other people would. So again, like you know, like you said, the value is subjective. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll be back on live about 8 o'clock. I will see you then. Appreciate y'all's support tonight. Have a good one. Still get to play. Well,